Welcome back, everyone. So we'll go in a slightly different direction for this video. One of the most common complaints we get from people is over the course of time their laptop gets or their desktop gets slower. This just happens. It could be any number of reasons, from the operating system being corrupted to just a whole bunch of junk software on your computer to a component failure. And today we're going to talk about component failure. The most common component that fails on a computer is the hard drive, simply because next to the processor, it is the most utilized piece of equipment inside your computer. Yeah, the RAM takes abuse too, but RAM, if it goes bad, it usually self-corrects and you can just pop them out and pop a new one and there's no real significant change. Your hard drive is where all of your photos, all of your documents, all of your emails, if you're using an email client, are stored. So it comes to no surprise that when a computer starts acting up, that's one of the first things that we look at is how old is the hard drive, how much life does it have left, and is it something that can be fixed? Because sometimes you can fix them, or is it better just to clone off the hard drive? So it's just something we do, and anyone can do these things. It's just we are more of a service of convenience, and of course we know we have the knowledge to do it much faster than probably most people can do. So with that, if you ever wanted to check your hard drive because it's being slow, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into your File Explorer and you're going to right click on your C drive. You're going to go into left click on Properties. And this is going to bring up the hard drive properties. Under Tools, there's this Check Your Hard Drive. This is the built-in Windows one. It will scan your hard drive. If there's problems, it will tell you. This process can take anywhere from 30 seconds, which is normally what it takes, to up to an hour. If it's going to take longer an hour, or if the reporting time here, you see that the reporting time is bouncing up and down, which is normal. If the reporting time starts showing days and weeks, then it's most likely a hard drive. Mechanical drives take longer than SSDs. This is a virtual machine, so it's using a virtual hard drive, so that's why it gives you the different numbers that it does. But still, virtual hard drives are like SSDs. It shouldn't take that long. So here we're going through, we're going to go scan. If it finds any problems, it will tell you. When it's done scanning, if it finds a problem, it'll give you the opportunity to repair them. With the repair, sometimes it requires a restart and sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on where that repair needs to take place on the operating system or on your hard drive, and where your operating system is located on your hard drive. So this is not a surprise. And like I said, so to see this bounce around, 30 seconds is the norm usually for SSDs, but I'm using a virtual machine, so it's going to bounce around a little bit. So this is not a surprise. So you let this finish, and then what pops up, if you want to see the reports, if it found bad sectors, it'll show you where to find that information, and so on and so forth. But while this is doing this, I wanted to show you one of the other tools that we use is Smart DeFrag. And this is from IOBit.com. Now, the problem with this is I don't know what's going on between IOBit.com and several of the other companies, but just to make you aware of this, sometimes this software, and it's the other software as a whole, gets flagged as a virus. It's not. We've used it for years and never had a problem with it. Our recommended usage, Joe, you install it, you use it, and uninstall it, because if you leave it running on your computer, it's going to pop up with tons and tons of notices. Like any other free antivirus in the old days, hey, we've done this for you. Maybe you ought to throw us a few bucks. Yeah, so that's what it does. So use it, uninstall it. So here's why I think there is something going on this virtual hard drive that I've got set up on this virtual machine. See, this is just taking way too long. And so if you go over to Smart DeFrag, if you've got it plugged in, this little button here will show you what's going on with your device, if the condition is good or not. And last time I checked this, it was not so good. So I'm probably going to have to wipe and reinstall the virtual machine, because last time I checked, here's your desk health, and it's poor. And it's taking a lot of times to do things. So I don't get why this has corrupted, other than maybe it's shut down improperly a couple of times for other things. There it is. Windows has successfully scanned your hard drive. No problems were found. Show details, and it takes you to the event logs. So that's good that nothing was found there. And this is what you're looking for on response time. Not only do you have the disk health here, but response time is what you're looking for. Response time should always be less than 1,000 milliseconds, because 1,000 milliseconds is a second. I have an SSD. It's a 6 gigabyte transfer, so it should never, this is the normal speed you should see on an SSD. On a mechanical drive, that's where that less than 1,000 milliseconds come in. If you start seeing your hard drive using more than 1,000 milliseconds consistently, you just sit there and watch it. If you see it going over that 1,000 milliseconds consistently all the time, then there's something physically wrong with the hard drive. In this case, I'm suspecting that there is nothing wrong with the hard drive. It's just these are all supposed to be different pieces of information. Because I'm using a virtual hard drive, it can't read the information, so it's registering it at poor. But if I'm just watching the numbers, which again, a little bit of knowledge, I would know this, I don't see these response numbers going up very high. Same with the write times and read times. They're right where they need to be. So this is probably a false read. If you get one and you're not sure, screen capture it. Remember, snip is a wonderful thing. I've showed you all how to use it before. I'm going to show you how to use it again. So if you get something that pops up like this and you're not sure and you have a question for me, just bring up snip it, email it to me. Email me probably 6 or 7 of them. That way I can look at the numbers and see. And if I think the hard drive is going bad, or if it's something that needs to be repaired, I'll let you know. Or you can call me with the information. It's the same thing, but I would rather see the image of this. And of course, my email address is plastered everywhere, so you could just send me screenshots of this, and then I can look at it. But like I said, this disk health is showing as poor, and I think it's because it can't read the information because I'm using a virtual hard drive. But the numbers are where they need to be for an SSD. Even for a mechanical drive, like I said, as long as your response time is less than 1,000 milliseconds, that's where you're fine. And you're going to get it go over it a couple of times here and there, but as long as it's on average less than 1,000 milliseconds, then your hard drive is generally in good health. If you're going over it constantly, then we need to look at other things to straighten it up. And one of those things you can do is defrag your hard drive. So you could defrag your startup files if your boot up time is taking forever. You can set that to do that, and then you can defrag the hard drive itself. Now I'm using an SSD. Technically an SSD, you trim it, you don't defrag and deprioritize, but this is what we'll do. And as you can see, red is never good. And again, it goes back to this as being a virtual hard drive. So this is, red all over the place. It's not uncommon on virtual machine. But this is what it does. It organizes your files. Windows has that too. It has a defragmentizer, and it uses it quite often. I think it's once a week by default. Windows will defrag the hard drive, but it's not perfect. This is one of the many tools we use. The nice thing is you can actually set this, and then you can go over here and tell it to restart when it's finished. And this process, which is as much red that's in here, I'm going to say this is probably going to take a while. So I won't bore you going through all of it, but it'll restart and then it'll defrag the startup files restart again, and then you should be fine. This should straighten, because this takes your files on your hard drive and puts them in alphabetical order, not as you and I know it, but alphabetical order as the way a computer would understand it. So it takes all these chopped up files, puts them back together, puts it in alphabetical order so it's faster to find things. It updates the master file table, and just generally makes it run faster. This generally fixes a lot of problems, and this will tell you also, like I said, if your hard drive needs to be replaced. This is what you need to do. But you can leave this run in the background and do other things. One of the other things we tell people to, that we do, and we also tell people to look at too, is let's look at, I know I have it installed here. I thought, maybe not. We'll do it the hard way. Is to look at what programs are installed. A lot of times people get programs installed on their computer and have no idea they've got it installed. And you're going to go into Control Panel and Programs and Features. These are all the programs that are installed on this virtual machine. If you see programs that you have no idea, you can always check their information. A legitimate company will put their information here. Those who are not legit will not put information here. So, or they'll put very little here. If you don't know, do a little bit of research. If that doesn't satisfy you, you can always call us or email us and we'll answer the question as best we can. Sometimes we'll want to do a remote to actually see it because we might not recognize the name, but we might be able to look at the icon and go, oh yeah, that's, you know, a rendition of such and such, and yeah, it's safe. So again, if you find stuff in here that's not supposed to be here, it's just, you know, you just go and click it and then click uninstall and it goes away. Now you will find occasionally you will have programs that are stubborn to uninstall, and that's where you need an uninstaller. And I thought I had put one on here, but I guess I did not. And so we use IOBit's uninstaller for that, which is by the same company as Smart DeFrag. And so that's what we use to get rid of it. So, but anyways, I'm going to stop this and trigger a restart so you can see this. We're going to assume it's done, even though it's not. We're going to trigger a restart. It's going to do a restart. Remember, if the screen looks a little bit funny on this, it's because it's a virtual machine, not a real computer. So it's going to restart. There's the funniness I was talking about because it's a virtual machine, not a real computer. It'll come back up. It's going to defrag the master file table. Spinnies are good. There's the master file table being defragmented. So this is going to take 5 seconds. It does it automatically. Just let it sit. Let it do its thing. Your master file table being defragmented is a good thing. Once a month at least. Windows is supposed to do it. Whether it does or not is a matter of checking it, I guess, but there, it didn't take any time at all. All 3 master file tables have been checked. Now it's going to exit and reboot again. That's what's going on. I have backups running in the background of the computer. That explains why it's running a little bit slow. I was going to say it's a 16-core machine with 32 gigs of RAM. It should be basically making me breakfast, but I see the notification over there now that client backups are running. So yeah, now we're coming back into it. Like I said, I apologize for the slowness. I've got client backups running. It is a Sunday, by the way. You're probably watching this on a different day. And there we go. We're back up and running. So yeah, that's usually the first thing to check. And like I said, if you don't want to do it, you want to pay us to do it, we'll be glad to do it for you. If you have a contract, the service is free. Well, not free. You pay for it as a part of your contract, but you don't pay for it on time each time service. If you want us to look at your computer, there's the phone number, schedule a time to drop it off for me to pick it up. There's the address. I'll be glad to do it for you, and we can go from there. If your hard drive does need to be replaced, we have the capability of cloning your old hard drive to a new one. Sometimes that's a good thing to have an expert do it. You can do it yourself, but if you screw it up, you might lose everything. So just to be aware of that. So anyways, that's how you check your hard drive to see if it's failing or it needs to be replaced. Don't believe the hype on I just read a recent report that says that SSDs last for 10 years. No. What they're saying, and from a professional person who's been doing this for a while, SSDs 2 to 3 years, and then you should change them out. If you get 5 years on an SSD, you're doing great. Mechanical hard drives are generally 5 years. If you get 7, that's great, because if an SSD fails, you're not getting your stuff back. A mechanical drive fails, I can probably get some of your information back, if not all of it. No guarantee though, but I can try. So anyways, you guys have a great day. If you found this video interesting and increased your knowledge, hit that like button to let me know. Share it with your friends with the share button down there, and subscribe so you get more updates on different videos. Don't forget there is a donation link down there. If you want to donate to the cause, I'd greatly appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.